This is Marty backstage with Kim Royal, Jax and Jet's mom. You must be so proud of all the amazing work your boys are doing here in Kansas City.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Well,
they are absolutely...
Well. Would you look at this lovely specimen we have here?
Royal, right?
Yeah.
So that's, you're like royalty or something. Almost like a queen, right?
Who is this? She ain't got nothing on me.
You know, What the? Hey! Excuse me, Mr. Rowe. What's going on here? Marco, Lionel, this is not how you make an impression here at NWL KC. This is not how you treat a lady.
What is that? Is that a sweater?
Yeah.
A little bow tie, huh?
Oh, poor thing.
You a hero?
Maybe.
Is that what you are? Okay. Hey, it's Meeks, right?
Yes. Blaine Meeks.
Got it.
Would you give your sons a kiss?
Save one for us.
You all right with this, Roy?
KC, we run the ring, we run the yard, we run it all, Kansas, what you screaming out? KC, we run the ring, we run the yard, we run it all, Kansas, what you screaming out? What you screaming out? What you talking about? What you screaming about? Fight KC, everybody say, fight KC, come on. Fight KC, what you screaming out? Fight KC, what you talking about? Fight KC, come on, fight KC.
Welcome back, wrestling fans, to the National Wrestling League, and we have a tag team matchup coming up for you. The Howletts are making their debut here in the National Wrestling League.
I have been so excited to see the debuting Howletts. These guys have a heck of a reputation. Very, very tough trio right here. These guys, I expect some big things from them here in the National Wrestling League.
These guys are, they say, from the greatest state, California, are looking to come into the National Wrestling League, beat people up, and get paid. And they sent a very clear message to all of our fans and to us here in the National Wrestling League when they sent out on YouTube earlier this week that they had in fact kidnapped one of our interns.
Absolutely, you know, a pretty gutsy move on the part of the Howletts, getting President Major based in Rite where they want him. They want to be here. They want to prove that they are the best tag team, best unit, as a matter of fact, as you see the lovely Daniela in there with them. They're the best unit in the country, and they're here for tag team and singles gold, all three of them.
Definitely seems like so far a force to be reckoned with even before they step inside the ring. It looks like Daniela's got something to say.
Kansas City, Missouri, I'm Daniela, and these are the Howlett. La familia es para siempre.
Did you get that? That's Spanish that she's speaking there.
You know what? I don't think all you idiots heard what she said. We are the Howletts, and family is forever. Now, we are here in the National Wrestling League because we heard that the best tag teams make this their home. The Silver Spoon-fed tag teams, and now that we're here, that is the truth. Free the intern! You know what, kinda? Go ahead and spit some more truth. Spit it out!
This guy makes me nervous. Both of them make me nervous.
We have a message for everyone in Kansas City, Missouri. And speaking of tag teams, we're about to bring out our first two victims, but before we get to that, we have a message for a tag team in the back that is prancing around and acting like they are the best in the world.
Who are they talking about?
Royal Blood!
Oh, that's who they're talking
We have a
about.
message for you! We suck, and we're gonna get
These guys are certainly serious about what they're hoping to accomplish here in the NWL. Man, I have not seen a stronger debut so far than these guys. They certainly come in with a great reputation. They're going to have to prove it against the Union.
And here come the Union making their way into the Scottish Rite Temple here tonight to hopefully stand up for what's right here in the NWL. They took exception to the Howlett's actions by taking that intern hostage, and they say they're going to make things right here tonight.
Well, you know, these guys are hard-working stiffs. You know, look at them. Joe Lunchbox is there with their overalls and everything. They probably don't shower more than once or twice a week. They're used to working those double and triple shifts, but they got their work cut out for some very aggressive guys in the Howletts, and you got to watch out for Daniela on the outside. I think she's their secret weapon. Those guys she's not afraid to throw a punch either, so you got to watch out for her too.
I love these guys, the Union. They represent the American worker. They represent everything that's great about our country. They represent the hard work and dedication and perseverance that it takes to survive in any form of life, and I think they're going to put the Howletts to the test here tonight.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. They represent most of what this country has to offer. If you're not very bright and you can't graduate high school, you could probably still get a nice, cushy union job where you only have to work half of the time and still get paid overtime.
Joe and Mac of the Union came up with a win last time here in the Scottish Rite Temple against the Mancini brothers. A miscue by the Mancinis led Joe and Mac to the win, and here we go. We're starting the fight already, and the Howletts are jumping the Union right before they even get their jumpsuits off.
These guys putting everybody on notice that as soon as the Howletts enter the building, everybody's got to be on edge. Look at these guys wasting no time getting to the Union. Looks like setting them up for a big double team.
Oh, they collide in the center of the ring on a miscue here, and the Union have them both up in a power slam position. Double noggin knocker sends the Howletts reeling, and Marco, I think he's out on his feet, doesn't even know where he is right now.
Looks like they're playing lawn darts right there. Huge little slam.
And Joe with a rolling neck snap here, and Mac with a big diving headbutt right to the chest. Goes for an early cover here. Only gets a 2 count. That was almost a quick 3 count. And the Howletts would have been headed back to California.
Would have been a very, very quick debut for the Howletts right there. I will make fun of the Union all day long, but one thing I won't make fun of is the fact that these guys are a heck of a tag team. They really have all their maneuvers down pat, and just like this one right here.
Springboard senton on Leonel, goes for a cover 1, only gets a 1 count here.
Joe is maybe one of the most deceptively athletic men that I have ever seen in my life. Look at him, he's a big, strong, raw-boned guy, but he can fly around like he's a cruiserweight, that is for sure, and you certainly saw some of it right there.
Pancakes him right in the center of the ring. Last time, look at Daniela.
So I told you.
Dragging her man to safety here. What is the referee doing? He needs to kick her back to the back. She just interfered in this match.
Very, very liberal interpretations of the rules right there. She didn't touch Joe at all. She grabbed her man and got him to safety. Now look at this. Now she's got a few words for Joe herself. I told you, she's not afraid to get involved.
Look at her, she's asking, she's begging Joe to hit her in the face. What kind of woman is this?
Oh, she is crazy just like they are, that's for sure. All part of the plan.
Drove him right into that steel ring post. Head first goes Joe. He might be knocked out for the rest of the match.
Did I tell you these guys were a unit? That is exactly what a unit does. They're all working, all moving parts, looking for the same objective. Right there, Daniela playing her part beautifully. She knew that stiff Joe wouldn't hit her.
Oh, chop right across the chest. Leonel really taking it to Joe on the outside here. Going for a cover, rolls him back in the ring. 1, 2, only gets a 2 count.
I can't decide when these guys are more menacing, if they're stone-faced or if they're smiling. Two very, very dangerous individuals. They're certainly living up to their reputation so far right here in the NWL.
Putting a beat down on Joe here. Double team maneuver here. Double hip toss, knee drop, followed by a leg drop. Nicely executed right in the center of the ring. Say what you want about these Howletts. It seems like they're functioning as a unit, like you said earlier, and that could get it done here tonight.
You don't get a reputation all around the country of being a top tag team with just a lot of BS and a lot of hype. These guys have been in the trenches and they've had to prove it. Maneuvers like that have probably brought them a lot of cold hard cash and also a lot of gold as well.
And that's what they said they're here to do. They're here to collect, almost like collect bounties on every tag team that they wrestle. And they're going back to the Sunshine State, as they say, and spend the money out there because they don't want to stay here in Kansas City, Missouri.
Listen, everybody and anybody who's anybody in the wrestling world wants to be here in the NWL. The Howletts, no exception. And they're here to make a mark in the tag team division. So far, they're looking very, very impressive against a very impressive team in the Union.
Isolating Joe of the Union, and the Howletts are having their way right now, stomping away at Joe, who's slouching in the corner. He may be on Dream Street here.
What unit? What union are the Union from? Are they the Teachers Union? Are they the Pole Dancers Union? The Grave Dancers Union? They're very vague about what union they belong to. Which one is it?
I have no idea. I've always just considered
the Soviet Union. Are they communists?
I don't think they're communists, Christopher. Pushing him back into their corner again, isolating Joe. Smart tag team wrestling by the Bruisers, the Howletts. Joe trying to fight his way out of it with forearms and elbows. And he puts a stop to that. Leonel really, sharp forearm and a back elbow right to the face of Joe from the Union. Tags in his more wild and crazy cousin, Marco.
Are they cousins? That's their relationship with the Howletts? All of them are cousins, or are they all just nuts? Or are both of those things true?
Could be both of those things true, or are true, excuse me.
These guys are dangerous. I got to be honest, I'm not...
Vicious cross faces right there, right across the bridge of the nose of Joe.
I'm not too uncomfortable around anybody. I can handle myself in a street fight, unlike you. But I tell you, these guys make me a little uncomfortable. They're very unpredictable. They're always on edge. Like I said, you never know when they're more dangerous, when they're happy or when they're mad.
Very strong words they had for the Royal Bloods earlier. If I were the Royal Bloods, I'd be nervous about these guys. They put a target right on their backs. Almost get a 3 count. Joe with a sunset flip. Almost pinned the wild Marco here. Tag into his brother, his cousin, Leonel.
I'll tell you, the Royal Blood has never faced anybody, as far as I know, like the Howletts. Not too many people have faced people like the Howletts because they're so unique. But these guys are wild. They are crazy. They just want to beat up the Royal Blood. I don't know if those guys have ever faced anybody who is more concerned with making a statement and sending a message than they are actually about winning a match.
Vicious charging European uppercut. Cannonball right into the center. And now another reverse cannonball, and Joe is hurting right now. The referee may need to step in and stop this
Joe
match.
needs to make a tag very, very soon. These guys very aggressive. Joe is, he looks like he's out on his feet, if he can even get to his feet right now. He may need to stop this match.
2, almost a 3 count. He barely lifted that shoulder off the mat. He is in deep, deep trouble at the hands of the Howlett.
Absolutely. Looked like it took everything he had just to be able to get that shoulder up off the ground. And now he's in the wrong side of town right now with the Howletts.
I guess anywhere the Howletts would go, you'd be on the wrong side of the town if you're near them. Nice drop kick by the Athletic Joe. Last time we saw him in the Scottish Rite Temple, he did a moonsault. Like you said, this guy is super athletic for a guy his size.
Absolutely. That looks like a desperation move, though, on Joe's part. I don't know how much he has in the tank. He's got just a couple of feet to crawl over to tag his partner, but I'll tell you, that feels like he's crossing the Sahara Desert, I'm sure, right now.
Oh, and Marco charges across the ring and hits Mac right in the face, preventing that much-needed tag, and there's nobody there for Joe to tag.
Smart move on the part of the Howletts. They knew the tag was probably going to be inevitable, and doing what they needed to do to prevent the tag right there, knocking Mac off the apron, and now things are back in the control. The Howletts are back in control here.
Very impressive debut so far by the bruising Howletts. They are just taking it to the Union, and the Union are a tough, tough tag team, as they showed last time here at the Scottish Rite Temple.
Absolutely, one of the toughest teams in the Midwest or in the country as well, and they have really been taking it to these guys.
Joe coming off the second rope, high cross body. This could create the space he needs to make a huge tag into Mac of the Union.
Not as much velocity on that high cross body as maybe he would normally get, but certainly still with a big man like that coming after you, it's bound to hurt. Looks like both men down. Leonel got to make a tag. Both of them got to make a tag.
And here makes the tag to Mac. Mac getting in the ring, clotheslines Marco. Another back elbow for Marco, who keeps charging in. Choke slam into a spine buster. 1, 2.
We talk so much about guys like Lakota Red Cloud being so strong. Well, let me tell you this. Big Mac here from the Union, one of the strongest guys you're ever going to see inside this squared circle, and he showed it with a move just like that, although he's paying the price for it right now. Looks like the teamwork finally catching up to the Union.
Marco and Leonel calling for maybe a double suplex here attempt, but it's going to be hard to lift the Big Mac up. And Mac reverses and suplexes both of the Howletts. What an impressive feat of strength
each of those
by Mac of the Union.
Each of those guys over 225 pounds, if not more, and he handled them both easily. I'm telling you, this guy has got power to spare. He's really cooking right now.
Splashing Marco into the corner. Tags in his partner, Joe. Maybe Joe's recovered enough so they can score some much-needed double-team offense here. Catches a high cross body
He's
block.
caught Marco. Marco not getting a get out of this one. Fall-away
slam here. Looks like Joe's going for another. Crotches Mac on that steel ring post and prevents him from doing a moonsault. What are the Howletts doing here? Sidewalk slam position. Going to the top rope, leg drop, sidewalk slam combination. This could be it, 2, 3.
Wow.
And the Howletts beat the Union of Mac and Joe. What an impressive debut by these two bruisers for California.
Very, very impressive matchup right there. The Union, two big, strong, tough guys known for taking the fight to people, and they took it right to the Union, and they come away with the victory. All three of them right there with their hands raised. That is Daniela in the middle, Leonel and Marco. The Howletts are putting everybody, singles, tag competition, everybody on notice right here from the Howletts.
What a scary prospect this could be, that if they get their hands on the Royal Bloods, they could be heading for tag team gold here in Kansas City. And give it up for Mac and Joe. They fought valiantly, but the Howletts at the end of the day were just too much.
Royal Blood, take a look at your future. You got two big, tough, mean, crazy individuals, and they are looking right for you. How are you going to respond? Well, I guess we're going to find out, aren't we?
The Howletts have made their mark here on the National Wrestling League. We'll be right back, folks, with our next matchup. Welcome back, wrestling fans, to the National Wrestling League, Kansas City. We have a championship tournament match here for you tonight.
Absolutely. The man who is all about the social media. This guy is trending everywhere. Talented athlete. Mr. Hashtag himself, Chad Barstow.
Chad Barstow coming down to the ring with his selfie stick there. He's more interested in gaining followers and exploiting his brand, or expanding his brand, if you will, than he is about winning wrestling matches sometimes. He needs to stay focused here tonight if he expects to advance in the title tournament, especially against his opponent, Blaine Meeks.
You know, a lot of folks talk about the millennials and how they're annoying and all of those things. Well, Chad Barstow, well, he is the quintessential millennial. This is the hope for the next generation. I think Chad Barstow is what every young man and woman should aspire to be. Not like this guy. I mean, what does he do? He reads comic books.
I was just about to say, Blaine Meeks, if you want to talk about an inspiration of future generations or the generation that he belongs to, this is the guy to look at. Blaine Meeks, good guy, always doing what's right, always sticking up for the little guy. Blaine Meeks, look at, you can't deny that, Christopher. Look at that.
He's trying to steal that kid. What is he doing with that young man?
he was giving the young man the thrill of his life by getting to meet one of his heroes. Blaine Meeks always does what's right, and you can count on him to do things like that in the National Wrestling League. And he's gonna try to outsmart Chad Barstow here tonight and advance in the KC title tournament.
This geek Blaine Meeks is always sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. Listen, he's been involved with all sorts of, in his mind, injustices, right? But maybe he should just stick to his own business and be more concerned with himself, kind of like Chad Barstow.
Don Diablo with the ring introductions here in our opening contest at the Scottish Rite Temple in the KC title tournament.
How does that Carnival Barker still have a job here? Do you see that ridiculous suit?
You're always focused on their attire, what the guys are wearing.
Because your image makes your first impression. My first impression of Don Diablo is that he's an idiot.
Blaine Meeks being introduced to the crowd here at the Scottish Rite Temple, and this is a young man that's excited to be here. Ever since we signed him here in the National Wrestling League, he has put 100% into being here and being a part of the National Wrestling League. That's something to be admired, unlike Chad Barstow, who's only out for himself.
Well, when you get a little older, you will realize that the world doesn't care about you and the world doesn't have any heroes anymore. Chad Barstow's figured that out. Maybe it'd be time for you and Blaine Meeks to figure out the same thing.
Look at Blaine Meeks showing off his great athleticism there, taking him down with a waistlock takedown and just spinning around Chad Barstow, showing that he's got what it takes here. He's got the quickness and the ability to take out Chad Barstow here tonight.
Listen, I don't like Blaine Meeks, not at all. I think he's a big geek and kind of a dork, but I will say this for him. You're not going to find many better athletes than Blaine Meeks, that is for sure. Guy is in phenomenal shape. Chad Barstow in great shape as well, but just look at the physique on both of these gentlemen. These guys came here for serious business, and they're here to win, that's for sure.
Both great representations of what the National Wrestling League has to offer, all you fans out there. And if you want to follow Chad Barstow, you can hashtag Chad Barstow at any time. He loves that. Or you can follow him on Twitter, Chad Barstow __ NWL. Same with Blaine Meeks. You can follow Blaine Meeks if you want a real hero.
Who wants to follow Blaine
Meeks _ NWL on Twitter as well.
Boy, I read a comic book today. That's what he tweets about, right? Who cares? I want to hear about what Chad Barstow's doing at the club. He's having a good time. This guy's always partying. He's making moves. Who cares what Blaine Meeks has to say?
Blaine Meeks with a side headlock. The action hot and heavy here in our opening contest here tonight. Holds on to that side headlock. Chad Barstow tried to shove him off and was unable to do so. Blaine Meeks really wrenching down on that side headlock. And if he keeps up this kind of pace, he's going to wear out Chad Barstow real quick and try to hit that comic mischief and put him out for the 1-2.
I couldn't see, but it looks like he may have had a handful of hair there to make sure that he kept it. I believe that's probably true.
Are you one of Chad Barstow's followers?
Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be?
One of his 7 million, so he says. He says he has more followers than the Kardashians, which I find very hard to believe.
Bet it's probably a lot higher. I bet it's probably closer to 9 million. I bet you every person in the Midwest follows Chad Barstow, and if you don't, you're an idiot.
Cross body block attempt there out of a back suplex position. Chad Barstow hitting the ropes here. Blaine going for an arm drag takedown. Chad going for one of his own. Slap to the chest. Blaine Meeks flips out of the armbar situation. Goes behind Chad Barstow.
Goes for a quick roll up. Barstow hanging on.
Look at the height, the elevation on that cross body block. Going for a cover there too. It's a 2 count only.
I will say this about Blaine Meeks. He is definitely unpredictable. That guy has he's got a huge repertoire of moves, probably because he does a lot of studying. I'll give him that. Certainly an accomplished wrestler for sure. He's just, he's just a little plain, I think.
There's something, but all the do-gooding, all the fighting for the underdog that Blaine Meeks does, there's something very admirable, about that, but there's also something underneath all of that, underneath the geeky comic exterior, as you said, or nerdy exterior, lies the heart of a hero. And I think that's something that's missing from a lot of people and a lot of athletes here in the National Wrestling League.
This guy's a hero. You give me a break. What is heroic about a guy who sticks his nose where it doesn't belong that's nothing heroic. That's a nuisance right there. Blaine Meeks is a nuisance.
Chad Barstow spitting in the face of Blaine Meeks and dragging him face first down into that second turnbuckle. If Chad, think about this world here, Christopher. If Chad Barstow picks up the win here tonight and propels himself into the next round of the KC title tournament, this guy could be our next world champ.
Absolutely, and how great would that be to have a man who is going to get the exposure that the NWL needs? Chad Barstow, boy, I tell you, that's job security for me and you. If I were you, I'd be rooting for Chad Barstow too.
Swinging neck breaker by Chad Barstow, going for a cover here, getting a 2 count only. Chad Barstow doing his hashtag sign before he connected with that swinging neck breaker. Chad Barstow not taking anything away from him, although he's focused on gaining followers and upping his social media credibility. This guy is also an accomplished athlete and wrestler, and he can get it done here tonight.
Absolutely. Well, look at the physique on Chad Barstow. Of course, he's an accomplished athlete. This guy's in fantastic shape right there. Not too many people can go toe-to-toe in the physique department with Blaine Meeks, and certainly Chad Barstow right up there with them, and certainly showing you why he has that many followers. You want to know why the guy has 11 million followers on Twitter?
Oh,
it's because of things like
now?
that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to 11 million.
Northern Light suplex connects to the center of the ring. Gets a 2 count only. Barstow putting his left shoulder up.
I'll tell you, if Nick Chin was a little more on the ball, that mismatch might have been over.
Irish Rip reversal. Chad Barstow connected with a hard clothesline in the center of the ring. Nick Chin on top of the action. Gets a 2 count only. Blaine Meeks kicks out. And Chad Barstow locks in almost a sleeper hold here on Blaine Meeks. He wants to slow down the high-flying and athletic Blaine Meeks.
Absolutely. Well, that's a smart strategy right there. No, not too many people in the entire world can move like Blaine Meeks. I'll give him that. So, yeah, that's a smart strategy right there. Take the air and take the life right out of him.
Doesn't seem to have a full grasp on that sleeper hold. Blaine Meeks making his way up to a standing position, fires away into the midsection. Chad Barstow firing with a forearm right into the shoulder blades and kicks him right in the chest.
You ever been to a picnic and there's been a lot of flies or a lot of ants running around, right? That's what Blaine Meeks is. This guy is annoying. He's just kind of a little nuisance, a little gnat. I wish he'd just go away, to be honest.
But this nuisance, this gnat, as you say, he may be one of at least the crowd favorite to win this entire tournament.
What?
And I would like to be represented, my company be represented by someone like Blaine Meeks.
Oh, that would be the worst thing that could possibly happen to the NWL. This comic book airhead, this big dumb geek being the flag bearer for this company? No way.
Ducks a clothesline there, does Blaine Meeks. Super kick, catches Blaine Meeks coming in. This could be it. 1, 2, almost a 3 count.
You can do all the fancy moves that you want, but sometimes you just got to kick somebody in the face. Chad Barstow one step ahead on that one, and it looks like we might be setting up for his big finish right now.
Chad Barstow looks like he might be going for, looks like a suplex. Blaine Meeks puts the brakes on, drops that weight down on his left knee, making sure Chad Barstow, although he's incredibly strong, is not able to lift up Blaine Meeks. Blaine Meeks might be jockeying for position here, trying for a suplex of his own.
Taking away the leverage, that's for sure. These guys going back and forth now. A little seesaw action here. Who's going to get the better of this exchange?
Look at this. Strength on display from both Chad Barstow and Blaine Meeks as they're lifting each other almost completely up in the vertical suplex position, but neither one has been able to drop the other one. Looks like Chad Barstow is going to get the better of this exchange, and both collapse to the mat with exhaustion from trying to suplex each other.
Looks like Blaine Meeks might have threw a knee at the head of Chad Barstow, might have got him with something that could have led to the end of the exchange there.
It looks like Blaine Meeks has got him up.
Now
Nice
he's
snap
got him.
suplex there by Blaine Meeks.
Right on the hashtag on that one. That's he's feeling the effects of that for sure.
And one thing we got to talk about is Blaine Meeks can hit his finisher, Comic Mischief, from anywhere. I mean, I've seen him do it from the second rope, from the third rope, from bouncing off the ropes. If he hits Comic Mischief, this match is over, and he could hit it at any time.
I can't believe that my life has come to this, or you saying things like Comic Mischief. I have to sit here and listen to that. That is unbelievable.
Back elbow connects with the jaw of Chad Barstow, puts up the boot again when Chad Barstow comes charging in. Nice clothesline by Blaine Meeks here, taking down Chad Barstow. Nice strike right to the throat of Chad Barstow. Chad Barstow swings and misses. Blaine Meeks going off the ropes again, hits him with a back elbow, drilling him with an elbow right to the canvas.
Chad Barstow doesn't know where he's coming or going right now. Lung
There
blower.
it is.
Ooh.
There it is. Well, that's not comic mischief. That's just a lung blower. Thank you, Christopher. The comic mischief is actually almost like a back cracker position. Same type of maneuver, though.
Maybe you start studying your wrestling moves just a little
Oh,
bit.
and he took flight with that tope con hilo and crashed right into the security railing here at the Scottish Rite Temple, and Blaine Meeks is up. Almost not even feeling the effects of crashing right into the security railing.
He's going to be feeling that tomorrow for sure. Right now, he's on pure adrenaline. That was a fantastic move right there. The guy jumped from nearly 8 feet out of the ring. Those guardrails
Going
are
for
8
a
feet away
cover of
from the ring.
2. Only gets a 2 count here. Did you see the athleticism of one Blaine Meeks clearing that top rope and crashing right onto Chad Barstow?
Unbelievable. His full body weight on the chest and head of Chad Barstow.
Oh, he's going for comic mischief right there and misses. Chad Barstow puts the brakes on, goes for a kick, and hits him with a kick coming back around. Going for the cover
That
here.
could be
1, 2, almost a 3 count. 2 3/4 here at the Scottish Rite Temple.
Absolutely. I think that Blaine Meeks just kicked out on instinct on that one. I don't think he really knows where he is. Chad Barstow he's right for the pickings right now.
Chad Barstow sending Blaine Meeks into the far side, hits him with a diving clothesline, or a running clothesline, excuse me. Chad Barstow whips him to the other side, going for a savant kick, connects right with the face of Blaine Meeks.
Setting him up for his finish right now. It looks like he's about got him right where he wants him.
Whipping him into the far side again, beat him from pillar to post. Meeks puts the knees up, and he hits comic mischief from the second rope. This could be it. 1,
Come on, kick
2,
out.
3, and Blaine Meeks picks up a victory in the title tournament here tonight at the Scottish Rite Temple.
Well, Blaine Meeks certainly had a good game plan on that one. You got to stay on top of Blaine. He's in such great shape. He's strong. You can't even let up for just 1 second, or that's going to happen to you.
Thank goodness Blaine Meeks advances in the title tournament here.
Thank goodness.
Oh, we don't have to be represented by somebody like Chad Barstow, and Blaine Meeks is celebrating.
What is this?
Blaine Meeks can't even celebrate his victory without that show stealer Dak Draper coming to the ring. What is he doing here?
I don't know. I think he's going to tell us, though, finally somebody that everybody can look up to, and that is the mile-high Magnum Dak Draper. Did you see that?
We'll find out what Dak Draper is doing out here, ruining the celebration of Blaine Meeks right after this commercial break. We'll be right back, everybody. Welcome back, wrestling fans, to the National Wrestling League, KC. Dak Draper is in the ring and interrupted the celebration of Blaine Meeks.
Well, of course he's going to interrupt it because nobody cares about Blaine Meeks. It's all about Dak Draper as he's getting ready to march to the championship tournament. This guy's my pick right there.
And we have another opening round contest. I guess we're going to get underway right now. And it's Lockdown Ray Briggs taking on the the scene-stealing Dak Draper in another opening title tournament opening round contest here tonight.
We have talked about great athletes here in the NWL, but I got to say, probably none greater than Ray Briggs, Lockdown Ray Briggs. I'm so flustered with his athletic ability that I forgot what his name was.
Ray Briggs, a college sports standout, an NFL standout, and now he's here in the National Wrestling League applying that athletic prowess and the athletic ability here into the squared circle in professional wrestling. This guy hasn't been doing it that long and has come a long way already.
We can talk all day long about the accolades of one Lockdown Ray Briggs, but the one thing he isn't Dak Draper, and that's going to spell doom for him in this match. I mean, look at him. He's a fantastic athlete. 6'5", handsome. He's got the necklace, the sunglasses. This guy is destined for greatness right here in the NWL.
And let's not forget that this is an all-important contest to both of these athletes, not just the title tournament here and advancing, but also win-loss records, because that's what really matters here in the National Wrestling League.
Absolutely. Both men definitely have had different paths to getting here, but both certainly have the eye on the prize for sure.
Dak Draper last time here in the Scottish Rite Temple with an impressive win over the young upstart Jordan Castle. He's looking to continue that winning streak here against lockdown Ray Briggs.
Ray Briggs had a little bit of a different path the last time we were here, dropping a match to High on Life Ken Dharma, but it was very, very impressive. Ray Briggs, so athletic, so explosive. All it takes is just 1 second for him to hit you with something and beat you. This is going to be a fantastic contest between two great athletes, just a representation of the type of athletes that we have right here in the NWL KC.
You saw before we went to commercial, Dak Draper pushing Blaine Meeks aside, stealing the spotlight once again. He also pushed Blaine Meeks out of the six-man tag main event when we were in St. Louis and replaced Blaine Meeks as the team captain with the Royal Bloods taking on Team STL. And actually, they picked up a loss. And some say maybe because Dak Draper pushed Blaine Meeks out of that team captain slot.
Listen, Dak Draper, if he had a couple of partners that were just half as good as he was, he would have won that very, very easily. Instead, he was shackled with those two little dwarfs, the Royal Blood, and that's why they got the loss. I don't want to see you blaming this on Dak Draper.
We're underway here in our opening contest, our opening round contest, I should say, in the KC title tournament, collar and elbow tie-up. The much stronger, maybe much stronger, Dak Draper locking up with Ray Briggs, pushing him back out of the corner. And we saw before this, Devlin getting into the head perhaps. Oh, going for a roll-up here. 1, 2, only gets a 2 count. Getting into the head of perhaps lockdown Ray Briggs, saying you need to be more aggressive in order to pick up a much-needed win here in the National Wrestling League.
Well, and I said it before, and I'll say it again right now. Devlin was right. You got to be more aggressive. Did you see that? He turned his back on Dak Draper, and it almost cost him an easy victory right off the bat. Devlin, 100% right. Maybe Ray Briggs should put his pride aside and listen to a guy like Devlin.
Well, one thing's for sure, I got to disagree with Devlin here because Ray Briggs, being a standout collegiate athlete as well as participating in the NFL, knows what it takes. Anybody that competes at that high level of athletics has to have some sort of aggression. I think Ray Briggs has enough aggression to make it into the big time here in the National Wrestling League.
Absolutely, no question that he is a talented individual, but sometimes those guys with $1 million bodies, all that athletic skill, they've got 10-cent heads, and maybe that's the case with lockdown Ray Briggs. He's on the end result of a couple of fists there from Dak Draper.
Dak Draper using his size and strength advantage here over lockdown Ray Briggs, hammering those forearms to the face of lockdown. Lockdown with the high back body drop elevates the big Dakota Draper over his head and drops him right in the center of the ring. Irish whip reversal here by Dak Draper. Ducks under. Dak Draper kind of takes a spill to the outside but lands on his feet. Maybe he's going to use this to take a little bit of a breather from the offense of one lockdown Ray Briggs.
That right there just shows you what kind of athlete Dak Draper is. A lot of folks would have taken that and it would have hit the floor and hurt themselves very, very badly. Dak Draper knew he was going over, and he still managed to land on his feet, and he is still in this contest because he's such a great athlete. There you go, right back to a single leg takedown.
Oh, driving the knee right into the patella of lockdown Ray Briggs, trying to take those wheels out from underneath the high-flying lockdown Ray Briggs.
Probably the smartest thing that he could do right now is to take away that explosive ability from Ray Briggs. This guy, I tell you, he can do a standing drop kick to a man that's 8 feet tall. If you find a man that's 8 feet tall, he could do it. And so you got to take away those legs, that's for sure. Keep him grounded. There you go, Dak. Put the pressure on him.
You were right earlier, Christopher. I would say that whether you love him or hate him, Dak Draper is probably one of the top tier of contestants here vying for that NWL KC title. He might go all the way through to the finals of this tournament.
Why wouldn't you love a guy like Dak Draper? Guys like you who are jealous because you probably never had an athletic bone in your body. You didn't have any women who ever liked you. Probably you're not all that smart, not all that creative. I mean, that's probably the case with a guy like you and a lot of people that you know. So, of course, you're going to be jealous of a guy like Dak Draper. Guys like Dak Draper and myself, well, we get that our whole lives. It's just the cross that we have to bear.
And a heavy cross that must be, being so athletically gifted like Dakota Draper. Speaking of athletically gifted, nice high cross body, by the athletic Ray Briggs, and it follows it up with a hip lock takeover and make that 2. Ray Briggs trying to throw off the game of one Dak Draper. Body slam hard in the ring. Goes for a cover. 1, 2. Todd Countryman staying on top of the action. Dakota Draper only gets put down for a 2 count here. Ray Briggs needs to stay on top of him. And we have to understand that, like I said, he is still basically in his rookie season here in the National Wrestling League.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of folks, just goes to show you how talented he really is. There are plenty of folks right here who are trying to get in the NWL, who have been wrestling for many, many years and have just maybe not been able to prove themselves just yet. But Ray Briggs, within a year, has proven himself to be one of the most talented wrestlers in the entire country. That is for sure. He has really been a quick study.
Almost like a dragon screw leg whip there by Ray Briggs, dropping an elbow right into the center of the back, and a nice kip up, again showing that incredible athleticism that led him to the National Football League.
You know, you talk about National Football League, you talk about the NFL. Well, I'll tell you what, if he keeps making mistakes like that, NFL is going to stand for not for long for lockdown Ray Briggs.
Clotheslines Dak Draper over the top rope, sending him crashing to the floor outside. The one thing we got to say is, although he was on the losing end of the equation last time with High on Life Ken Dharma, he still was impressive even in the loss against the much more experienced High on Life Ken Dharma.
Absolutely impressive, and he's impressing me here tonight. He's really taking it to Dak Draper, but this match is far from being over.
Dak Draper elevating and driving a spinning elbow right to the face, and then follows it up with a knee drop right to the chest of lockdown Ray Briggs. Make that 2. Going for a cover, hooking the leg.
You might have him.
Only gets a 2 count there.
That spinning back elbow, that is what we call a game changer. If he hits anybody on that, you're on Dream Street, and he can do pretty much whatever he wants to after he hits that, just like he's doing right now to lock down Ray Briggs. Now, a lot of folks who are inexperienced would try to maybe do something very, very flashy here, but Dakota Draper, one step ahead of the game here, putting on a simple but very, very effective rear chin lock and really working it's a full advantage here on lockdown Ray Briggs. That's the sign of a champion right there.
Really zapping the energy out of lockdown Ray Briggs, clamping that big bicep across the cheek and the chin of one lockdown Ray Briggs, and throws him with authority down to the mat. The one thing about Dak Draper, we haven't seen him really being put to the test yet here in competition in the National Wrestling League, and if he's going to be put to the test, lockdown Ray Briggs may be the one to bring it to him tonight.
Well, absolutely. You tell me who is going to bring the competition to this guy. I mean, he is really absolutely the total package, so to speak. Having a little fun with Ray Briggs, just dropping him there. He could have done anything he wanted to. He's just toying with him right now.
Hauling lockdown Ray Briggs like a sack of potatoes here in the Scottish Rite Temple. Boots him right into the rib cage. That was a field goal. That was a field goal-like kick there by Dak Draper.
Absolutely. Again, with the football references here, that was definitely between the uprights. Dak Draper really firing on all cylinders right now. Lockdown's got his work cut out for him, and it doesn't look good as longer as this match keeps going on.
Driving the knees right into the midsection of lockdown Ray Briggs. Dak Draper taking plenty of time to show the faithful here in Kansas City why he is called the Mile High Magnum.
Listen to these idiot fans here booing a guy like the Mile High Magnum. He is everything that most people should want to be. Sure, he has been blessed and he has been gifted, but he makes the most out of those things, and that people just can't stand that. Guys like you, he can't stand a guy like Dak Draper who has everything going for him and deserves all these wonderful accolades that he gets. 2
after a gut wrench suplex. I have plenty going for me, Christopher. Maybe I don't look like Dak Draper, but I got a lot of other things going for me.
Sure you do. And I'm sure people here in Kansas City are just clamoring to hear more of what you have to say.
Slapping on another rear chin lock here. Driving the knee right in the base of the spine, right in the back of the head of one lockdown Ray Briggs, really working over the neck and trapezius muscles of lockdown Ray Briggs.
Was that on your Words with Friends today, trapezius? You had to make sure you threw that in.
1,
trying to sound smart.
2, only gets a 2 count.
You talk about a lot of football players having concussions. Well, I wonder if Ray Briggs has felt anything like those knees to the back of the head when he was on the gridiron. Those things can't feel good. I think Ray Briggs is slowly starting to fade here.
One thing you got to say about the competition here in the National Wrestling League, we don't have pads. We don't have an off season. So Ray Briggs is used to having maybe a little bit of time off, maybe a little bit of a breather to reformulate a game plan. And although he's not wrestling every single day, he's got to come into each and every match with a well-formulated game plan without a coach like he's used to in his football experience.
And that is all Devlin was trying to do, was to help out Ray Briggs by telling him to be more aggressive, be a little more assertive, be a little tougher. And what does Ray Briggs do? He gets an attitude. Well, he might be paying for that.
He's rolling him up right here. Almost got a 3 count, and Dak Draper takes off Lockdown's head with a clothesline. And he's sucking in the adulation or maybe the disdain of the faithful here in the Scottish Rite Temple, going for a cover. 2, only gets a 2 count.
A guy like Dak Draper has been used to that his entire life. People being jealous of him and being jealous of what he can do in the squared circle and everything that he has ever done. I'm sure that it's not bothering him at all.
Oh, kick right again to the midsection of Lockdown. The one thing about Dak Draper that I can't talk enough about is what you're seeing right here. There's a viciousness to him. With all the pomp, with all the circumstance that Dak Draper presents in front of everybody, there is a mean, vicious side to this wrestler, and that may get him victories here.
Most men that are successful in this world do have a mean and vicious streak in them. That is the way of the world, and if you were anything but a little namby-pamby from California who just turns about participation trophies, you'd know something about that.
Vertical suplex right in the center of the ring, letting Lockdown think about it for a second before he drives him down. 2. Only gets a 2 count. Thought that could have been it. That was a high vertical suplex with a lot of authority coming down to the center of the ring. Going for a cover again. 2. Dak Draper really staying on Lockdown Ray Briggs right here.
Seeing a little signs of frustration here from Dak Draper. That's all right, Dak. Just calm down. Don't get yourself out of control, and you're firmly in control of this match, so just win it.
Driving those fists hard down into the face of Lockdown Ray Briggs. Again, he is showing some signs of frustration here. Maybe the rookie wasn't as easy to put down as he thought, and he's having to work just a little bit harder than he anticipated.
Listen, anybody who underestimates Ray Briggs, well, they're an idiot. I'm not saying that I think Dak Draper did that. I just tell you, that's how much this young man has in the tank. He's got a lot of heart. He's definitely a tough guy. Dak Draper, though, still one step ahead of him. Even though this match is going on longer and longer, you might think that it's favoring Ray Briggs, but how much punishment can he take?
Ray Briggs trying to fight out of the rear chin lock again, applied by Dak Draper. Dak Draper going for Ray Briggs flipped out, belly to back suplex of his own, connects in the center of the ring, floats over, covering Dak Draper. 2, only gets a 2 count on Dak Draper. Nice set of offense there by Ray Briggs. Beautiful drop kick, cuts off that momentum right there.
Dak Draper one step ahead of most people every single day of his life, and if you don't believe that, well then shame on you, as Dak Draper would say. Really is firmly in control of Ray Briggs and looking like the man to beat in this tournament for sure.
The toe of his boot right into the face, a sign of disrespect here by Dak Draper, and tries to utilize a driving elbow, and Ray Briggs moves out of the way.
Ray Briggs, even with his headlights a little dim, always aware of his surroundings. He's got great instincts, and that just comes from having such a great athletic background. Real athletes get up onto their feet and they compete no matter what shape they're in.
Hip toss takeover, just using all of that strength to almost deadlift Ray Briggs over onto the side of the mat. Almost trying to drive another knee right in the face of Lockdown. Lockdown gets out of the way just in the nick of time. Looking for a tornado DDT here, connects with Dak Draper right in the center of the ring. He needs to roll over and make that cover and try to get an upset here tonight at the Scottish Rite Temple.
This could be the opening that Ray Briggs has been looking for. He's got Dak a little dazed right now. Let's see who can get to their feet first. Let's see if maybe Ray Briggs can turn this around. I don't think so. Dak Draper firmly in control for most of this contest. We will see if he's got enough in the tank to put him away. Come on, Dak.
Blocked by Ray Briggs, firing 2 straight right hands into the pretty mug of the Mile High Magnum. Nice close, like you can hear that thunder off his chest. Nice leg lariat there, followed up by a drop kick. Now it looks like Ray Briggs is starting to mount the offense that he needs to try to score a victory here tonight.
Nobody does a drop kick better than Ray Briggs. He's got him on Dream Street right now. Picks him up in the fireman's carry. What's he doing? Nice Samoan drop there.
Naturally into a cover 2, almost gets the upset. That was 2 7/8.
I would absolutely say that would be an upset, and he was so close to getting it. He can't believe it himself. He thought he had him right there. Come on, Dak, get to your feet. Start fighting.
I think this is the test that we were talking about that finally tests what Dakota Draper is made of, and so far he's holding up to the test of lockdown Ray Briggs. Tilt-a-whirl slam a la Scott
right
Steiner,
there.
driving him into the center of the ring.
Ooh.
Gets a 2 count only.
Very close there. These two men, definitely this match is taking its toll on both men. Now both men slow to get up. You start falling for moves that earlier in the night you wouldn't have fallen for, just like that one. Who wants it more? That's the territory we're in right now.
Looking for another vertical suplex here. Again, letting Lockdown think about it. Just holding him up there. Lockdown wiggles out of it. Throws Dakota Draper in the ropes. Tries for a Hurricane Rana. Nicely executed by Lockdown Ray Briggs.
That's usually the setup for the pick 6. We'll see if he's going to go for that.
Russian leg sweep.
He might have him here.
2. Only gets a 2 count. Dak Draper has to be a little thrown off his game by this sudden flurry of offense of Lockdown Ray Briggs.
Absolutely. This is fourth quarter time right here for Lockdown Ray Briggs.
Looks like he might be going for the pick 6.
He's
like
going for it. He's up.
No,
looks like Dak caught
Dak he keeps him in an electric chair position. What is he doing here? Floats over and spins him around into a power bomb. Only gets a 2 count, left shoulder up by Lockdown Ray Briggs.
I think the product of the Iowa school system, Todd Countryman, is to blame for that one right there. That would look like a 3 count to me.
Dak Draper charging in the corner. Lockdown moves out of the way, rolls him up again. 2, only gets a 2 count. Boot to the midsection. Uh-oh, he's locking in the gut wrench. This could be the Mile High Dr. Bomb.
And that's it.
2, 3, and that's it. Dak Draper, the Mile High Magnum, puts away Lockdown Ray Briggs here tonight in the Scottish Rite Temple and advances to the next round of the KC title tournament.
If there were ever any doubts of whether or not Dak Draper was the real deal or not, I think he just answered them for everybody here in Kansas City and everybody in the NWL, and I'm talking about those idiots over in St. Louis as well. You'd be watching. This is the man that's going to be carrying the flag for the NWL, and that is Double D, Dak Draper.
Fortunately, Lockdown Ray Briggs picks up his second loss here. How is the young man, the young rookie, going to recover? But more importantly, Dak Draper is headed right for that KC title. I think he put everybody on notice tonight.
Maybe Ray Briggs, maybe you go back and you find a guy like Devlin and you say, you know what? Maybe you were right. Maybe I was not aggressive enough. Maybe Devlin can help out Lockdown Ray Briggs. But I'm going to call it right now. You are looking at the future Kansas City champion.
And with that, folks, we'll be right back here on the National Wrestling League. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to the National Wrestling League, and it is main event time here in the Scottish Rite Temple. Ken Dharma and Niles Plonk are making their way to the ring.
It's Plonk, and I've been looking forward to seeing this match all week long. As a matter of fact, I really want to see how well these two organic athletes blend with each other as they take on, well, some would say the chosen ones here, the Royal Blood.
Has Niles Plonk even introduced us to his, would you call that a servant there at ringside?
Who cares what his name is? He's there to do a job.
I want to know how to address him appropriately.
Address him as, hey, boy, get me my drink. That's what you call him. He's paid to do a job for Niles Plonk, not to be somebody that you're going to interview. Who cares about his bald-headed assistant there?
Niles Plonk having his assistant take off his robe as Ken Dharma shows off that impressive flexibility that he's known for all across the world. And this should be one heck of a tag team main event here tonight in the Scottish Rite Temple. The Royal Bloods, as you called them, may be the chosen ones and may be the best tag team that the NWL has to offer.
Well, certainly they are very, very talented. They're young, they're brash, they're certainly athletic, as you see a little bit of it right there. They also have, they got pretty good hair as well, but I gotta say this. To me, they kind of seem like a couple of little namby-pamby mama's boys, and I think that real men like Niles, Plonk and Ken Dharma are going to show them what it's like to be in there with real competitors.
Fans at the Scottish Rite Temple showing their love for the hometown Kansas City Grove, the Royal Bloods. And one thing you've got to think about, where is the Royal Bloods' mother, Kim? She's always at ringside for every single one of their matches. And after that confrontation, after the Howlets, I don't even know what to describe with the Howletts, how they position themselves towards Kim aggressively. Where are the Royal Bloods' heads at? They don't know where their mother is.
Well, certainly they have gotten into the heads of the Royal Blood, the Howletts I'm talking about, but who cares where Kim Royal is? She should be back in the kitchen getting juice boxes ready for these little punks.
Jet and Jax Royal, probably one of the most impressive tag teams, one of the most high-flying tag teams I've ever seen. And it looks like High on Life Ken Dharma is jaw-jacking with some of the great fans at ringside.
You know, that is a battle that you're just not going to win, Ken Dharma. Some of these folks out here are just unbelievably stupid, and you don't do yourself any favors by even talking to them.
Don Diablo calling in by Niles Plonk, and Plonk correcting him, saying Plonk.
Why does everybody have such trouble with that? It is Plonk. The man should know his own name.
Look at the physique on Jet and Jax Royal. These guys train hard every single day, and it pays off here in the squared circle.
Absolutely, I got to give them that. Those guys are in the gym all the time. They are working hard. They are looking good, but it takes more than looks. Let's see if those muscles are all show and no go.
And the bell sounds, and we are underway for our main event here tonight on the National Wrestling League. Ken Dharma, and I think I can never tell these guys apart. I think it's Jet Royal starting off the match here tonight.
Well, who cares if it's Jet, if it's Jack, if it's Jackie, if it's Jocelyn? I don't care which one it is. I don't like them.
Ken Dharma, a skilled and seasoned veteran of our great sport. Nice arm drag takeover by Jet Royal, showing his athleticism and his quickness in the opening minutes of this contest.
As my grandma used to say, these young men are quicker than a hiccup. That is definitely true. They're definitely very, very fast, but it just takes a couple of shots to the mouth to get these guys off their game, that's for sure.
Ken Dharma going for an arm drag and twist there. Series of 4 kip-ups there by Jet Royal, and then locks on a side headlock of his own. Great athleticism shown by Jet Royal.
I think that's Jax Royal if you're counting at home, but I could be wrong.
I think you are. That clearly says Jet Royal on his leg there. I mean, they are identical twins, so it's an easy mistake to make. Backflip, nice drop kick. Connects right with the chest of one High on Life, Ken Dharma, and he scurries back to the corner of one Niles Plonk.
Smart move there. You don't want to let these guys get momentum because things will get out of hand very, very quickly if these guys get a chance to start doing some of those double team moves, and they employ that twin magic sometimes too.
Last time here in the Scottish Rite Temple, speaking of your so-called twin magic, Jet and Jax Royal scored maybe what some would call an illegal pin on Todd Letterman from Team St. Louis. Whether you agree with the pin or not, it went down in the record books as a win for Team Kansas City.
You know, a lot of folks are saying that, if it weren't for the chair shot earlier in the night and the triple team basically on Todd Letterman, that Team St. Louis would have came out with the victory on that one. I can't say that I disagree with that at all. These two guys, everybody loves these guys, but they certainly, he's one step ahead of Niles Plonk on that one.
You said Plonk.
I said Plonk. It's Niles Plonk. Of course, everybody knows that.
Nice arm drag and twist there. Plonk tried to flip out of this earlier, and it did not pay off. Jet Royal coming back into the ring with his brother Jax. Irish whipping Niles Plonk off one side. Ducks under. Action
Double
hot and
leapfrog
heavy
again.
here. Double drop kick. Nice. A little paying homage there to a great tag team called the Rock and Roll Express. Going for a cover here. Only get a 1 count on the seasoned veteran Niles Plonk.
Absolutely great tag team move, and that's the kind of thing that you've got to avoid when you are in the ring with the Royal Blood. These two guys know each other pretty well, obviously been around each other, they say, all their lives, right? So they certainly have some great tag team maneuvers. But look at this. Looks like we're going to see a double team from this team as well.
Let's see how well the two organic athletes work against them. Going for a high cross body, and they get caught.
Nope.
Niles up. Drop kick from his brother. Going for a cover on both of them.
That's an illegal move
count.
right there. Referee Nick Chin just letting it go because he happens to be a fan of the Royals, I'm sure. That was definitely illegal.
Jet Royal pushing Ken Dharma back to the ring, makes it to the corner, makes a tag to his brother Jax. Throws High on Life off the ropes, double arm drag. Looks like an assisted moonsault coming up, connects in the center of the ring. Beautifully executed, follows it up with a moonsault of his own, going for a cover here. 1, 2, gets a 2 count only on High on Life.
Great teamwork right there from the Royal Twins, the Royal Blood.
Ken Dharma making a much-needed tag to his tag team partner, Niles Plonk, and he gets met with a beautiful dropkick right to the face by Jax Royal. Tag into his brother Jet. Let's see what kind of tag team excellence these guys can put over on Niles Plonk.
Sets him up for a nice suplex. Senton over the top. He could have him right here.
Cover 1, 2. Only gets a 2 count. Left shoulder creeps up off the mat for Niles Plonk.
You know, that's one of the things about tag team wrestling. If you've never been in the ring, you don't understand just how quickly a double team maneuver, 1 or 2 of those things can really start taking it out on you very, very quickly. Imagine, 2 men beating on you. It doesn't take long for that to take a lot out of you.
And like I alluded to earlier, you have to wonder what the Howletts have done. What psychological damage, what psychological warfare the Howletts have already engaged with the Royal Bloods. Where are their heads at? That could lead to their downfall here in this match against Niles Plonk and Ken Dharma.
Ken Dharma trying to get himself up on the back up to the ring apron, probably accidentally pulled the top rope down.
You saw that he meant to pull that top rope down right behind the back of referee Nick Chin.
I don't like you disparaging the name of Ken Dharma. Certainly an organic athlete, likes to play by the rules like you say. Certainly, I wouldn't think he would do something like that.
Shoulder block to the midsection. I believe that's Jet Royal in the ring right now. Just 1 chop to the chest by Niles Plonk. Tags in his tag team partner, Ken Dharma.
One of the things about Niles is that he's a sophisticated man, right? He's classy, obviously, but he does have a mean streak. He does have that, what it takes to become a champion. The guy is constantly bettering himself in every aspect of his life. He's a true Renaissance man, as is Ken Dharma for sure.
One thing's for sure, Niles Plonk has not had a winning record here, in the National Wrestling League as of yet. He actually lost to Lakota Red Cloud last time out. So he's I think there's a little redemption that he's looking for here tonight against the Royal Bloods, hoping to pick up a tag team victory.
Absolutely, and not a better way to do it. These guys getting a lot of attention, the Royal Blood. If you can get a win over these 2 guys, that certainly puts your name on the map here in the National Wrestling League.
Speaking of tag team titles and tag team competition, one has to wonder if Plonk and Dharma are to beat the Royals here tonight, what that means throughout the entire tag team landscape here in the National Wrestling League.
They would certainly send shockwaves through the tag team ranks, that's for sure. A team who, to my knowledge, has never teamed with each other in the past. If they were to get an upset here on the Royal Blood, that would certainly change the landscape for sure, but I think they can do it. 2 very, very skilled individuals with lots of experience in between them, and they're doing it very, very well right now.
Showing that great flexibility of High on Life Ken Dharma. Almost he might be antagonizing here, playing a little psychological warfare of his own, and lands a drop kick right in the midsection of the Royal.
Let's stomp some grapes.
Uh-oh, the grape stomp coming up, stomping a mud hole. I believe that's Jet Royal on the mat right now, and just showing everybody here that Niles Plonk does have, in fact, quite a mean streak. High back body drop sends him right down into the center of the ring. 1, 2, goes for a cover, only gets a 2 count. Crowd chanting for Jet Royal to make his way back up to his feet so he can tag in his brother Jax.
I have really been impressed lately with Niles Plonk and also with Ken Dharma. And as a team, these two guys are showing me even more, definitely more than what I expected from a team that is, to my knowledge, never teamed together.
Drop kick right to the chest of Jet Royal after Niles Plonk locked on those body scissors. 2, only gets a 2 count there. They are working very, very, very well together, and it has to speak volumes about how they wrestle as singles competitors and making that work in a tag team situation like this.
Look at that, no ego between the two of them, not one of them wanting to take credit or stay in there longer than he should. These two men really looking like a well-oiled organic machine here, and I'm talking about Plonk and Dharma.
Plonk going to the top rope, misses a splash. Maybe went to the well once too often and thought Jet Royal may have been hurt more than he actually was. Jet Royal needs to make a tag to Jax right here, right now.
Well, we've said it time and time again. You give anybody here that deserves to be in the National Wrestling League, you give them a couple of seconds. It's going to be more than enough for them to get back on their feet and get back into the action. That's exactly what happened right there.
Jet Royal rolling in, tagging his brother Jax, and here comes Ken Dharma, meeting him in the center of the ring. Nice clothesline by Jax Royal. Make that 2, takes down High on Life, and a beautiful drop kick connects with the chest of Ken Dharma.
That's the explosiveness that we were talking about earlier. You give these guys an opening, and they certainly will take it.
Nice forearm, fights off Ken Dharma, the offensive Ken Dharma. Missile drop kick right to the chest, and both Plonk and Dharma are taking a breather outside, but that does not mean they're safe from the high-flying Royal Blood.
You are never safe with the Royal Blood. Those guys can attack from anywhere just like they're going to do. It looks like he was setting up for something there. Decided to go against it.
Penalty kick right to the chest of Ken Dharma, sends him down to the mat, showing the educated feet of the Royal Bloods here tonight.
Niles going to check on his partner right now. Looks moonsault.
Acai moonsault connects with both Plonk and Ken Dharma and sends him crashing to the floor here in the Scottish Rite Temple.
Unbelievable athleticism there. Royal has been on the outside for quite a long time, and he's definitely pumped up. What do they got going here? Looks like we said earlier, you're never safe from the Royals, that's for sure.
What is he doing here? Taking flight here. Tope called hello and takes out both Plonk and Ken Dharma.
And he lands on his feet. Absolutely incredible athleticism. Looks like both men ripe for the picking. Just going to throw Dharma back into the ring. Referee looks like he's lost a little bit of the control here.
Cover 2, only gets a 2 count. Smart move on the Royals' part, showing that they're a great tag team specialist team by rolling Dharma back in the ring. Plonk gets a boot to the midsection. Oh, that's the uncorker right there.
He might have him. This is the upset right here.
This is it. Moonsault connects with him in the center of the ring. This could be it too. Oh my goodness, that was almost an upset. The Royal Bloods break up a 10. I think that was Jax breaking up a pin attempt on Jet Royal.
Well, this one you didn't think to see this happening. This is turning into a big brawl here. Looks like all 4 men in the ring. Plonk got he's got him now. What are they setting him up here for?
Super kick. I hit Plonk right in the face. A miscue there on the High Society snobs. Super kick of his own right to the midsection. These guys could be going for their patented card cutter. Connects right in the center of the ring. This could be it for Ken Dharma. Oh, looks like this. They're going for the Royal Flush. connects right with the chest of Ken Dharma. This is it. 2, 3, and the Royal Bloods pick up another victory in the Scottish Rite Temple.
I'll tell you, these guys look more aggressive tonight than I have ever seen them. Maybe the Howletts getting into their minds a little bit. You could very well be right about that. These two guys definitely are a tag to be reckoned with, but now with maybe a little added inspiration, who knows how far these two guys are going to go, certainly on the winning track here in the NWL.
One thing's for sure, Dharma and Plonk, although they've never teamed together.
Hey, Royal Blood.
Wait, what is that?
Hey, over here, right here. Yeah.
Oh no, the Howletts are on the screen.
That's Marco
again.
Howlett.
What are they doing?
Yeah. It was sitting on a table out there.
We've been back here while you guys are out there celebrating, enjoying your night. We've been back here looking for some crap. I mean, I don't know what to do with this. Actually, I could think of a couple things to do with this thing, if you know what I mean. But hey,
shirts in there.
earlier tonight we met your mom, and man, I gotta say,
I like her.
I gotta say, very, very fine.
That's disgusting.
You know what I mean? Very fine. But look, Royal Blood, I don't think we have your attention quite yet. So why don't we all do a little experiment and see if Royal Blood burns blue?
Look at the concern on the faces of the Royal Blood.
Oh, what a sign of disrespect. They are burning the Royal Blood shirt.
Yeah.
Sending a clear message to the tag team of the Royal Bloods, Jen Jax Royal, and they're headed back to find the Howletts.
I love it. You want to know what you're in for when you fight the Howletts. That's what you're in for. These guys aren't playing games. They're not out here to do a lot of flips or anything like that. These guys are here for gold, and they're here, and they're very, very serious. Things, to keep it 100, just got real.
Well, fans, I don't even know what to make of this situation. We'll update you on NWLeague.com, and I don't know. We'll see you next week, wrestling fans. Good night, everybody.